Yes, it's fine. It's fine.
Hi, this is Ron, and joining me today is Lally. Lily, sorry. Is it Lily better? Lily?
Yes.
Okay. And I wanted to just thank you for joining us. And today you're going to be talking for 25 frames. And I wanted to know how you guys started at 25 frames and how you got involved in 25 with 25 frames.
So, yes. So I met Antoine and Sosten like a year ago. Because me working in a game industry in the US, I just have like the goal to actually build an animation studio back home in Cameroon. So I actually reached out to Antoine through Facebook. I sent a message like I actually had a project, animation project. So yeah, so I reached out to them and they replied to me like a couple of weeks after, and then we start talking about my project, and then just talking to them, we were sharing the same vision, like how we're gonna see the animation in Africa, like in the next couple of years, in the next 10 years, like maybe. And just after talking to them, I just decided like to work with them, to join the team, to actually go global. That was the goal. The goal was to go global. Yes.
Now,
So
Anton told me there was a few projects in the works, and he's very hush hush about it. Well, I can't show you very much. Why not? I'm just recording it. Um, but he did explain there were a few projects, and he really focuses so much on kids. He really wants a story. It sounded to me that he really wants to tell a story for kids. Is that the
that
objective?
like because we just felt like when we watch like when our kids like we have black kids like African kids like watch Disney, there's a lack of representation. Or either you're gonna see on Disney like all those princesses, they are all like light skin, even when they're trying to represent like a black kid, the black is still light. So and even the culture when they want to represent Africa is just animals, right? Lions and elephants all over the place, the forest, and it just sound like it just sound like we don't have like they don't represent us. I don't see myself when I saw Africa in Disney movies. I don't see myself. I grew up in Africa, but I don't see myself.
It,
I'm
it
pretty sure my mom cannot see herself. And I don't want my kids to believe that this is Africa there. You know,
ah.
yes.
A- And
So
there was there,
goal actually build like great content to actually represent our culture. We want our kids to actually share with their friends. This is Africa here. This is the story. This is the real story. This is not real. This is the real story. It's not just the story to sell the movie, but this is a real story.
I think good and bad. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, representing. I think unfortunately Disney's audience is for Americans, and it just happens that you're lucky enough to watch it. Is it could be their marketing to say that. Um,
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. And I think also if had Disney come to Africa with stories um, and there was already a studio, it would have been quite a shock, you know, if you can imagine Middle America is watching these African stories. So maybe everything takes its time, but this is Africa's time now, and I
It's
think we
been
were.
a long time. This has been there for a very long time. It's been a long time. It's time for Disney to tell our story. And if Disney is not telling our story, we have to tell our story. We cannot just wait. We cannot just wait and just complain about it. So we have to tell our story.
Instead of talk about it, complain about it, go to the streets. Let's just draw. Let's draw something, and let's.
Yeah.
Um, and how lucky, how hard was it to find Antoine? Because you said you had a vision, but you didn't have the artist. Antoine had the vision, but you know, on the like, so your role in this company is going to be CEO or just the marketing of the company. How do you guys decide
Yeah.
whose role?
like our whole like just like we're doing like it's very the studio is really small right now, so we kind of been doing like everything, but not just I'm not doing any technical thing. I'm mostly on the business development of things, and trying to grow the studio, trying to develop more content, choose what the content work best, and also maybe define how we can work like the discipline of work, you know.
Yeah, it's a lot. What I was talking to Antoine, his influence, if we shift here and think about Japanese animation, he definitely was influenced. How about for yourself? Are you influenced by some of the animations coming out of Japan?
Yes, we've been since we were kids like watching manga on TV all day long, all day long. So it's just like when we talk about that, it's like Dragon Ball Z, like all those things, like Naruto, like we grow up with those. We grow up with that. So
How did you get access to it when you were young? Was it on a special channel? Did somebody bring it in on DVD or Vimeo, or how did
TV,
on
TV, the
TV?
cable TV. Mhm.
Also, even Cameroon decided they wanted to show this kind of thing to kids. And how were you thinking the first time you saw the animation? Because it must was it something like explain that experience when you saw. What do you have any memory of the first thing you saw?
As a kid,
Yeah, as a kid.
it's like mostly a lot of combat style when you watch Dragon Ball Z, like all the season, and like a good concept art because the character are really well designed. They have a good story, also fantastic stories, and we were just like we would just grow up like that. We just grow up with that, and like I was saying, even with consuming like Japanese animation product and American also, and after a while, you don't see yourself there, right?
Ah, okay.
After a
This,
while, I just
yeah.
think when we were kids, we were like, oh, this is normal. We were not just asking ourselves a lot of questions, right? But then you become a parent, it changed the perspective. You become a parent and you see your kids saying the same, the same content that you were saying as a kid. And you just feel like, oh, this is missing something. It's
I
missing something. I just like, what is the representation of Black kids?
I
What,
think
and even when you find something, they already, I don't feel like, I will not say the story is wrong, but it's not representative of what is happening in Africa. Like I was saying earlier, it's like a lot of content, American content or Japanese is going to be Africa is represented by animals and
yeah.
forests, and people don't know what Africa look like if you just watch those shows.
You mean like the faces of Africans? Like there's no yeah, I can't think of any very many. There is Lion King, but Lion King again was animals, and
That again,
Madagascar was animals.
just animals, animals, forest,
There's no
like
people.
not the building. There's no building in Africa. Like when you travel, like people will ask you, "Oh, you take a plane to get here in the US? You take a plane to get here in Europe? Like how do you do?" Because what they are seeing is just that animal forest. We don't have anything. We don't have anything. They are really surprised. They are really surprised. So
I
they have to travel actually to go and see the life there. The life. So
wow.
this is a problem that if you just rely on those big corporations to represent you, you're gonna wait for a long time.
Nope. And
So
then maybe you said the correct thing. It's the big corporations. So how how soon do you think it's going to take, or what do you think it'll take for small people studios to go in Cameroon to get going? Even if you're fully busy, what's the transition to get on TV or get not? How would people get to know you? Would how you have to get picked up by Netflix or a Disney Channel? What do you think would be a big step for your company?
I think for what we're observing right now, when we are saying like Disney already, like I think they are developing already two African production, right? With two studio in Africa, right?
In okay, do you know what
Yes.
cities they're in? Are they in South Africa or where are the
Yeah.
studios?
One is Nigeria and one is from South Africa. So yeah, they are already there, right? But still, because they already have like that a big audience, right? They already have a big audience. Like when people are working, like to get picked by Netflix or Amazon or I don't know another big corporation, right? But still, we cannot just work with that in mind, right? We cannot
Some
just
people
work
do.
with that in mind.
Yeah,
So I felt like we should actually first focus on ourselves, build our own content, trying to build our own platform, and who knows,
wow,
right?
wow. It sounds like you're pretty organized with the idea. Um, let's talk on representation of women in Africa. Are women coming out entrepreneurs, women like yourself, who are now? Is it common what you're doing is going overseas, getting that overseas knowledge? Is it helpful to you, or is it better to stay on the ground in Cameroon in Africa and fight? So how is it better what you're doing? The style going overseas?
I feel like I feel like both. I feel like both can work. You can actually stay back home and actually build. There's a lot of female entrepreneurs in Cameroon right now. A lot of them. A lot building really good stuff, right? And also from people from the from overseas, like me, for example, like be here, work in an animation industry here, and see how people are working, like also see how people are making the money here, and then see that I felt like it gives me also an advantage, right? To actually, why not? I know how things are built. I know how they build the show. I know how they build those content. So like I can take that knowledge and share with people back home to actually you join forces and you build that and you build that with them. I could have just stay here and just having people on freelance build stuff based all over the world, but this is not why we're trying to build here. If you want to build the content by our people.
Okay, no, that makes good sense. And I guess one model that came to mind is when the American auto brand in a different industry, the auto brand started up Ford and GM and some of these car companies and Chrysler. The Japanese, I think it was Toyota, copied the original cars from the U.S. and of course, the first cars that came out are looking like giant boats, and they're trying to navigate on this Japanese streets. So the first few cars that came out were not big successes and not well received. They tried their best, and people just made fun of them and said, "Look at these Japanese cars; are terrible." And it also
Look
doesn't.
at them now,
Oh
today.
yeah, look at them now. Look at them now, and the plants. So you have to really stick to your guns, and it's an
Exactly. You have to be true to yourself. No change, no. You have to be true to yourself. You have a dream. Just work really hard. Just work really hard to get where you want to be.
well, and
Mhm.
you said also the CEO for Vimeo was a good inspiration for you, like her rise.
Yes. Her name is Anjali. Anjali South.
Okay, Angeli South. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like for me, it's just like the concept or just like the drive is coming from building because I felt like like animation in Africa is still like on tape, like it's on tape business yet. So it's like it's not busy. It's really is a niche, right? So and it's really hard to actually find even the workforce for it. You don't have like help from the government. You don't have like the resources. You don't have the material. It's really tough, right? It's really tough. But still, with the very few people actually working in animation, and I'm pretty sure in like in the next 5 years, those people are gonna be rewarded. I'm pretty sure. It's a
Right.
struggle today, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be rewarded. I'm pretty
T-
sure, and I'm
t-
pretty sure that more people will get to the industry now. More and more people.
how okay, so there definitely needs to be an infrastructure to get everyone. Do you think a good solution would be, now you took the route of going back over, or sorry, overseas, coming and thinking about partnering with people back home. What about an animation studio school for the next generation? So they are getting trained by Antoine and other people. That means he's going to be very busy, but or bringing in some animators from other countries, for example Nigeria, bring in animators and start in a school. Do you think that infrastructure would be important?
Yeah, I feel like even now, right now, we are building the content to train people because, like, even to actually produce a really big project, we need people. We need people. We need trained people. So our goal is also this year to actually train. So we are organizing also training session to
And
train
do you
people there.
think the government will, you said there was no government assistance, so it's all out of pocket. Do you think there will be any recognition by the government?
It's out of pocket right now. I'm pretty sure if we get successful, we're gonna get, when you're successful, when you have something that is working, I think people can start reaching out.
Now there is another guy, I forgot his what country. They're trying to digitize their whole city. It's a small project, I think Ancon. Yeah, and they're trying in Senegal, sorry, and
Okay.
they're trying to. What do you think about that? Digitizing um, Cameroon, and this would also include the animation, because animation is part of a digitized world. But what do you think about that kind of idea? How close is Cameroon to that kind of thing? So if you did animation and another person did this, what do you think about digitizing the city?
For sure, it will take time. For sure. I will not say like it will happen tomorrow, right? Or in a year or two. But for sure, I think the world is getting digitized, right? So I just felt like in Cameroon and a lot of country in Africa, we will get there, but with time, a lot of adoption. People are just like on Facebook right now. People are looking at on social media, on YouTube. People are consuming a lot of internet right now. People are really the world is connected, right? The world is getting connected really, 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 really strong. So I just felt like it's gonna be time for Africa. I think it will be slow. It will not be fast because at the same time you cannot just change the culture. You cannot just change how people behave, how people do the stuff. So that I felt like we get there. We eventually get there. Maybe in the next, I don't know, 6, 7 years. But I felt like less than 10 years.
Wow, less than 10. How, let's change gears a little bit. How has the pandemic affected Cameroon? Like your goals, I want to get this studio built. How is like, sometimes the pandemic has done some wonderful things.
Yeah.
Um, it's brought a lot of people together. People are lonely and they get together. That's a different topic. But how has the pandemic affected Cameroon daily life? And as far as business, from what your perspective, because sometimes there's some great opportunities built from the pandemic, Now you're thinking about it, eh? Um, like sometimes the pandemic does certain things. It strips away what people are doing as the routine and they must change the routine. How do you think you might be able to capitalize on that? You said 7 years you could get something, but because of the pandemic, you might be able to get it down in a 3 or 4 years. What do you think of that?
Yes, I just feel like we've been seeing a lot of entrepreneurship is growing in Cameroon, like a lot since last year, 2020, a lot because like people were losing the jobs and then people were losing their business and everybody starts doing their own business. Even people start launching, people start creating stuff. People like building applications. So we have actually a young population who actually want to go global, right? And you actually have like trained young people, even back home in Cameroon, actually they are changing the game of doing things, even the way we're building in any kind of like industry. I'm just happy to hear different story of young entrepreneur back home creating stuff. So I just felt like, and they have the help of the government because they have the help of the government. But I felt like those young people, those this young blood, we actually those are the people that are going to change. They're going to change how people are getting connected, and also I felt like since like overseas, I feel like overseas, like people also are looking for the workforce in Africa, right?
Oh, they're always
People
looking
are
for the
looking for the
workforce
workforce
there.
in Africa. So since we kind of like connected right now, we're working like the way I'm working with Antoine, everybody is working from home. So it's like, and we have like the phone application to talk, to manage our project, right? We work remotely and we work very well remotely. So I just felt like the way the world is going, Africa is following too, right? Africa is following too. So it's not left behind. People are actually following the trend
Do
that is
you
happening all
do you
over.
sorry, do you think the pandemic's helped the situation like move faster, or do you think it's affected? Because some people have been really restricted. I guess I'm thinking about Europe a lot. They can't go out. There's lots of lockdowns. What's the Cameroon situation in that?
Yes, so we still have like some lockdown. We cannot organize like big parties because of the pandemic, and they still have some restriction, but it's not like very strong like you can see in France happening right now. So still, and also yes, we were actually touched, but I don't feel like Africa was like um one of the most part of the world that were actually impacted by the pandemic. Even if we are impacted, but not the most part of the world, right? So I just felt like with the pandemic, I think the growth gonna happen even faster because
Oh, okay.
it changed the routine of the people. It changed our routine.
For
It
example?
actually changed. It changed the mind. Even the mindset is changing. The mindset, the way people think, the way people are actually trying to develop their own business is changing. So even just thinking about that, people want to get digitalized. People want to attract global customer, and I just feel like even the mindset is changing. So I felt like the growth is going to happen even faster.
Okay. I want to have a look at your screen and let's see if we can look here. I want to look at 25 frames. That's my Pinso screen. We don't need that one.
Yeah.
Um, let's look at your Facebook, the 25 frames, right?
Yes.
Okay. And we'll see, have a look there and just, oh, maybe it will not come. Okay. Oh, there we are. We're already there. Okay. So this is a 25 frames.
Yeah.
Um, what's good to see here for people to get an idea? The video here, would that be a good one to see for you guys? This one here? I'm
Oh
just
no,
trying to give it an idea for people to see. So this would be your site for people to see you, and they contact you
yes.
by
So
WhatsApp.
so
But
the videos are really good because those are the project already. Those are the project.
yeah, this project here, would this be a good one for people to see?
Yes, we can
Okay.
actually, it's like it's actually a place to showcase actually what we can do.
Okay.
So
And
when you see that, I'm pretty sure for like even the global customer, it's like, oh, if we can do this, we can do that, right?
yeah.
It's just showing the potential of what we can do. We can do a lot more, but
What's a
are
good
showing the potential of what we can do and what
okay,
we already done.
this video is a good example. This video is okay to show?
Yes, of course, yes. This, yes, of course, yes. This is not launched yet. It's still in development.
It's not?
It's in development.
Okay. If we go back, what's a good video to show? Is there another video here that's really good to show your company? Show off your company?
Can you scroll down?
Yep.
Yeah, can you do like the other one, the test, it's like 12 seconds. Oh,
Uh, where can oh, this
yes,
one here. This one, okay.
yeah.
Oh, I like the sound of that. Antoine and team, do it. Good job. That was it?
It's just like a clip. But what I like about that is like the character, right?
Right.
It's like the design of the character. You see all the mark on the face, and I think there's another one. Yeah, if you check the face,
Well, I see what you're saying. Okay. Okay.
those
Oh,
are the character that you don't see much. You don't see on Disney, right?
right.
This character design that you don't see much on Disney.
Any other favorites? There's Antoine. Hi, Antoine. Oh, this is the now. This is the studio itself.
Yeah, this is a studio. Like this is Antoine and Sosten in the back there.
Okay, and this is
They were working on a trailer. They were
eh,
working on it, and they can show the trailer that they work on. So
oh, and in the video.
now in the other videos, I will show you. Like if you close that, the video on top of the 12-second one. Yes, yeah, this one.
Okay.
So this is a trailer that we worked with another Cameroonian
Okay. Oh,
producer. Yeah.
okay. Oh, so it's just not you only. Okay. Okay.
No,
Let's
no,
see.
this is a collaboration drive. Like this is a project that they contact Africa Kids TV. They contact actually 25 frames to actually do the trailer and actually produce the movie.
Wow.
Like yes, so really interesting project that we're working on.
Oh, this looks really good.
Yeah, it is. It's really exciting project.
Oh, the oral history. Okay, nice. It's
Yeah.
there's
So all of that
Africans. There's
like
Africans in here. It's nice.
so it's really nice, really nice. If you see like the concept, the character and all that.
Oh, this is some beautiful stuff.
Really beautiful. Very, really exciting project.
Now, I wanted to ask you when we looked at Antoine's stuff. Um, how hard is, like he said, kind of like looking at the studio stuff. Um, how hard is it to get all the equipment that you need in the to work together to get a good quality production? So we can see Antoine here in the team working hard, but
So yeah, the to get equipment like this is expensive, right? Like to get all those equipment are really expensive.
right.
So that so we're working on project like, and then when we have a project, we can actually finance some equipment as we go.
As you go. Okay. How ready
Yes.
are you to go for? How many projects can you take on at the time? At the like the moment, if a big, a,
It depends on the project actually. If you really have like a big production like a movie is gonna be different from like a few
like a
second trailer or something else or just a YouTube video, it's gonna be different. So it just depend on the project. But to say the least, we can actually do like a 3 minutes movie in 2 weeks.
3 minute movie in 2 weeks. So that's a kind of good goal for everybody to do. And how much pressure would it be? So say you start doing some good work, and then all of a sudden Disney or Amazon approaches you and says, we want to buy you out. We like what you're doing. Um, we like what you're doing, but we want to buy your studio, and we want to expand it. We want to give you the right funding. You guys will kind of run the show, but we're going to fund you. We're going to bring in 12 computers, and we're going to bring in 3 or 4 animators. We want their studio to start moving full time.
I like
What do you think about
for
that?
me, I feel like I like collaboration better than
Okay,
just be buyout. Because when you're gonna be buyout, you have no control, right?
but you have
They're gonna
money.
give all those material at the beginning, and then afterwards they're gonna change the game. They're gonna say, "Oh, this is the content that we want to see. This is the
But
kind of character that we're gonna see." They're gonna start dictating maybe what we have to show, right? But if it's a collaboration, they are really welcome, right? So we can work together and actually share ideas and actually discuss each content. Why this is a different kind of game. So the collaboration is I'm pretty sure is the one that
you
we
want
can
to
choose.
you want to
Mhm.
you want to kind of call the shots a little bit, like not completely. How difficult would it be to wrestle with the idea, like, they dangle the money in front of you and say, we'll let you work there, but we saying the different thing, you become employees of
No,
their studio.
it's not it's killing the dream, right? It's kind of killing the dream. It's not the same dream. It's gonna be the dream of somebody else.
Oh, they let you kind of control like it's so visually it's going to be this kind of work, um,
Mhm.
but they just want you have to answer to their projects. They want, like, you're working for their studio, but you can do they want the content to come from Cameroon, but they want to they have different structure, like we have these projects, we have these clients, and they bring you because, for example, if you have an Amazon, if you become the Amazon studio, it really carries a lot of weight. And if anyone wants to do business in Africa, they will definitely they have to hear a pitch from your company because Amazon would put that in front of you guys. What do you think about that? Because there is a big force they have.
Yeah. I completely. We kind of already we already talk about that because when we saw actually the collaboration with Netflix and all African studio, right?
Right.
And then we talk about that, like what if this happened? What if this happened? Like different case scenario.
What's our
But
price?
no, no, not the price. It's like for me, it's killing. It's like it's too soon. For me, you're just killing your dream. You're just killing it. I'm pretty sure money can buy a lot of things, but you cannot just replace your dream with money. So I
You
just felt
you'll say
like,
no. You'll say no if Amazon said we're gonna buy you like they were serious. They'll give us studio. You will have creative control, but we have these projects we want done. Creative control. You have marketing. They're gonna use their Amazon platform, as you were talking platforms before. I think you said the word, but they will use their power to reach a bigger audience.
yeah,
And
exactly.
but how much control do you need before you sell?
No, like if you are be giving the control of the creation of the content is different kind of game. If it's actually on paper that you actually have that control of what you are sharing with the world is different. It can be a talk, it can be in discussion, it can be on the table, it can be at the table. But for me, the ultimate goal is not to lose that control, to lose what we can publish, to lose the kind of character that we want to show to the world, to lose the story, to lose our culture. It's like, because I know that as soon as you lose that, you become another Disney number two, right? But I don't. It's not something that we are looking for, but it can be on the table if you have control.
Oh, I like how you talk.
Because
It
know
can be
that
on the table.
they have like the platform, they have the money to do that, to realize our dream even faster, right? They
Right.
have that. They have that power for sure. They have that power. But it's coming with hard work. We're gonna work hard to get there.
Of course, of course. Now there's a um, new animation Yosuke that's coming from uh, Netflix, and
Mhm.
they this is an African story. So I want your opinion of this. Um, it's in Japan.
Yeah, yes, I think.
There's a blackface. He's not light skinned.
Look at the head.
Oh, his you don't think he has African head? But what do you think of this approach with
Do
you
you
know
think it's a black face or it's just the color is just black? But look at the trait of like the nose, the mouth, the eye. I saw that. I saw this trailer. I saw this trailer.
what did you think?
Yeah. You say African story, right?
Um, well, that's it's a little bit debatable. I mean, it's very exciting right now. There's books about Yosuke, um, and in the in the series I've watched parts of it, up to three episodes. He does talk about his Cameroon or the Cameroon, his African background. Um, I forgot what country he originally came from, but but it's nice because they're given origin, and it seems that what I thought might be a big problem is that he was black and he's 100 years ago, or more than 100 years ago. Would it be a problem? And it seemed that the community accepted him. He had a kind of normal, small job. It looked like already his situation. He's on his own, kind of.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's not the situation. Somebody comes to a country, they train for something, that dream doesn't happen, and then he has to just take a normal job. So he's like a taxi driver, but for the boat, and everyone accepts. Oh, the black oarsman. They specifically can identify. It's a Japanese thing to identify somebody by the skin color. Sometimes in America, of course, you need to be sensitive. He's African American, but in Japan, they just call it as it is. That's a oversized woman. They'll say the word fat, unfortunately, but
Mhm.
one time I did see on a tag they said the Japanese never lie. The clothes size for this woman, it said for fat. So it said fat, and I couldn't believe it. But the Japanese are very direct with, what does he look like? He's African. He's black. I mean, they don't see racism that way. But in the series for Yosuke, they recognized him as the black boatsman. So like he's the black taxi driver, and it's interesting. So maybe I saw it a little bit different. I thought it was nice. I didn't hear anything like we don't like you because you're black. It was his personal skill that came up, not his skin color. Even though he was the only black person they ever saw, they accepted his job eventually, and he went from a high rank of from the reign in power to a low taxi driver, and people locally just accepted him. They didn't bother him. He had a drinking problem. He was trying to forget all the demons from the past. And I could see this happening to a foreigner coming to a foreign country, that if their dream, they went to a Harvard or Stanford, something they trained, but something didn't work out, and they just become like the average person. But what do you think of this?
Um, for me, it's a little bit of deja vu. I just felt like those big corporation, they're trying to actually, they are going to like building diverse content. That's the goal, right? But
Right,
still, for me, the diverse is like how can I say that?
it doesn't go
I
far
feel like
enough.
they are taking like one character, one African story in Japan, and they call it diverse. We're gonna see some TV show, for example, where they're gonna put like a black character somewhere, and we're gonna say, oh, this is a diverse show, right? And it's a diverse show. They're gonna call it diverse show, and gonna be a lot of marketing around that 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 show. But for me, it's still like it's very commercial. Like the way I'm seeing that, very commercial. Like
Oh,
call it
yeah,
diverse because like you're talking about like a black character, you call it diverse.
but
Like I just felt like they just like brushing a little bit the diverse thing that they're talking about a lot.
yeah.
So
Well, I'll tell you something. In Japan, they don't really know the meaning of diverse because 99% of the population, 98% is Japanese. So the idea of diverse, it's a good idea. It hasn't been pushed so much in Japan. They definitely, I'll tell you something. I went down one of the most expensive streets in Tokyo, and I saw lots of black faces in the advertisements. Not light skinned, I'm talking like African. The sister came from Cameroon, like she was dark. Um,
uh,
and this is a lot all over Japan. They just see things a little bit different. It's not exactly for a Japanese audience. Um, I wanted to ask you if you know this company, Studio Mappa. Are they famous in Africa? Do you know of
no,
them?
no,
Okay, I was wondering if they were like, because it said from Studio Mappa. I wonder if it was like an African studio, but definitely you think it's not?
I don't believe that. I don't believe so. I don't believe it's an African studio. You
Okay.
can something
Yeah,
that you can look
she wants to
into that.
check now. Like, are they black? Because I mean it's nice, and it looks like they're trying to do it diversity, and you know it's interesting because the main character is black, and it might not answer all the things you wanted, for everything. One thing I don't see on here is a black woman. That's for them. There's only he was a slave. He got you know brought to Japan, and this is his story. So that's why the Japanese like it, because he rose up. He didn't become a normal person. Did you find Mappa?
Mhm. Yeah, and Studio Mappa is a Japanese animation studio.
Oh, so that's kind of nice. Well, it's still nice. I mean, I look at it like they're telling a story that if I had kids, they can see a black character with a he's a black hero. That's of course there's so many things to. What about the Africans who did come to Japan that didn't make it? Do they have a series coming too? Um, there is one series that I will show you a little bit. It's called Little America. I don't know if you've heard of that series. Um, that series does
Mhm.
talk about um, uh, black African stories. So this is the class they're taking the.
Oh, mm. No, I don't know that. I don't know. So it's the goal is like they are sharing African story
Not only
in
Africa.
class.
They go like it's like 10 stories, and one story you will like is I don't know if they show it here. Um, there's a woman. There's many women,
Nice. Does this look interesting?
and this is a Spanish one. Chinese.
Oh,
The parents are making them. It's all dreams people have.
that's nice. That's actually nice.
Yeah, and they got
Oh, that's really nice.
they
Yeah.
got yeah they got struggles. The African woman, she's coming from Uganda. I mean, they really talk about. Um, she had some struggle. She got divorced. Unfortunately, she married an African. This is her. Oh, they just showed a clip of her. I think there were one or two women. One African woman came and she couldn't. Her initial idea didn't work. She came out as a businesswoman or something. It didn't work. She took a marketing or course like this, didn't work. But the father and the mother had a business back in Uganda, which was making cookies, and she grew up with this bakery. And see, the thing is, if I think of Africa, I do not think, oh, do they have cookie shops? Of course they do, and bakeries. But
Exactly.
but this Little America series really had the opportunity to show what is it like to come here, the reality when you get to America, going to school, and she started selling cookies on the street. Eventually, she said, "What do I know? I know how to bake cookies because my father showed." And the family actually put some money together to bring her back because she got divorced, she had a kid, so she was a single mother in America. Also, stories not often told. It's always family, family. She tried her best, but the African guy she met didn't work out. And let me see if I got a picture of her. This is the dream. This is their. This is the shop, the mother's shop, and the mother said, "We raised some money for you from our business and friends," and they sent a few $1,000s for her to finish everything there and come back to Uganda. She took the money
Mm,
and rented a business because what happened is she got arrested. She
mm,
started to sell the cookies on the street, and a police officer told her, "You can't sell outside." Even everyone bought the cookie. She knew she had the formula correctly. But in this case, they said, "In the business, you need a business license." She said, "What? How do I do this? Because in Africa, I can sell anywhere." She said, "Honey, this is in Africa. You have to go and get a license." So she realized she had to follow the local rules to be successful. So she rented a business. She got a good deal on it. She thought they were going to leave the equipment there, but when they rented it, it was a pizza place. They took everything out. So she really had to start from scratch and borrow. So her friends in America she met understood her dream. And I think that's getting what you were saying, to follow your dream. She didn't give up. The friends realized it. She used all the money to rent the place. Eventually, people started coming in because her cookies from
mm,
Africa, she never forgot the recipe. She just thought, oh, I'll do something different. Um,
mm.
and it's
That's
it.
really nice. This is really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Now I got you hooked, didn't we? But I really like.
I will check that. I will check that out. Yes, this
Yeah,
is interesting.
it's not. I mean, the topics are not for everybody because some of them, deal with, of course, American um, issues of different gender equality, and these also are playing in Africa too. And it's just there's so many misconceptions that they really try to answer. And the guy at the beginning in the class here, his dream was to become a cowboy, um, and it was, you know, so he's complaining about the hamburger. Like, why do they don't just eat the meat itself? Why do they put everything on it? And it was interesting. He embraced the local culture. Back home, he can't be cowboy, but in that part of the U.S., he could be a cowboy and fulfill his cowboy dreams. And it's interesting. And he made another business for himself, and he took, he focused on business, but he couldn't make friends because he was too focused on his studies. And then some people told him to relax. He relaxed and embraced the local culture, and then he found his niche, and that connected him to people. And then once he connected to people, his dream excelled, and it was a beautiful thing. And he can keep his African identity. He didn't have to go back, but it was nice. So he stayed in America. The woman stayed in America, and she actually got the citation from the city at the end. From the city really liked what she was doing, and he really liked this culture. He was in a kind of rural area where there were horses and stuff, and he had never seen them like this. It's maybe a different thing. It'd be I don't know, Serengeti or something for him, but he really liked this kind of American culture. So he brought Africa to America and adopted it to something that he could find his identity. And they're all like beautiful stories. It's not all Africa. It's South America, Iran, I believe, Turkey or another country, other European countries. Just people coming, they come the first time for their ESL class, and this is their dreams. And yeah, it's a great series. It didn't get a lot of play, but it's yeah.
This is really nice. I like real stories. I like the reality things.
Yeah, and it was it was a great thing. And it also goes to what you were saying, like um these are these are African stories. Like, they didn't fool around. They kept with the idea of um what's his African story. um and it's nice. And this is maybe what you were talking about. What's his African story? And it's a lot different from Yosuke, because they want to see samurais and supernatural stuff, and it's crazy. The series is, I don't even know where, because there's no official story of his story, so they're using the imagination and borrowing from him. Like, they got the legend of him, and then what story can you make around him? And so far, I think they've done a good story to be entertaining. And that's another kind of problem, because foreign entertainment, what they think, and then what you were saying is, like, you don't want to be taken over because they're going to tell their stories and just use you just be another animation studio, not an African animation studio with your own original ideas. So it
Exactly.
it could be a kind of difficult thing. um what what do you think from this moment forward? What's the goal? How will you get to that goal? How will you be the next CEO lady that you told me about? What do you feel is your goal? Is the pandemic helping you, or do you feel?
I think I think for us, I think it's like developing stories. I think this is the key, right? Developing story that will move people, like where people like our people also can relate to, because we need to start from there instead of like developing another princesses, you know.
What's wrong with
And
princesses?
no, there's not nothing
What's
wrong. We have princesses back home. I have princesses in my village. I have queen and king, right?
Oh,
But
wow,
those are
wow.
the stories that I would like to share. Like, what does a princess look like in my village, right? What is the king is doing? What is the queen is doing? It's not the same. It's different.
The
So
bit,
it's like I feel
yeah.
like the key is the storyline. So developing with content, really story that really don't trying to. For me, I will not say don't trying to. to oversell, and also trying to incorporate like the overseas culture, trying to mix other people culture and and thinking that, oh, this is the only way for the big audience to actually be hooked up by your production. So I felt like be true with yourself, be true to our culture, and focus on that. Just focus on our story. Just focus on that, nothing else. Focus on our culture, nothing else.
What you said there's a lot of stories to tell. There has maybe I don't know. Does there have to be a compromise because maybe someone doesn't understand the Cameroon princess story so much, and you
Yeah,
know,
they don't. I don't even believe that they know that they exist. Right? I don't know. It's like I have to tell my kids. I have to share the story that I know. Right? I have to share the story that I know. So, but I know there is a lot more. Right?
how
But
do you?
even when I share that, they don't relate to me that much because they're so hooked up by the other business business movie that they are watching online. So it's like that's mean that it's a struggle, but I just feel like we have to be true with ourselves. I think
How sorry, how difficult is it to compete against the Disneys and the Netflix and the Amazons and these
it's gonna
companies?
be like just watch like the Japanese like
Oh, and
what I like about
Japanese.
the Japanese kind of culture,
They
right?
bring the culture. Okay.
They bring their culture. They don't even try hard to say, oh, this is the American way to do this. This is
No
the
way
American
they
way.
would do that. No way. There's no compromise. Okay. So
No
almost
compromise. And people are adopting that. People are watching. People are hooked up by Japanese production today. So I
ah
just felt like we too with
there is
ourselves.
there is a compromise. I would like um to see hear your this one Ghost in the Shell. Um, now they designed this character. They designed this character to look like a European girl. So this is her like disappearing. Now the girl here kind of looks a little bit. They made her look like European. This is her coming together. Wanted to show her face because
Mm-hmm.
the Ghost in the Shell girl, um, she looks like a European. I don't know if that's.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture of. I mean, the original. Let me see if I can find the Ghost in the Shell character. Um, Maybe this is a better one. They said, definitely looks like what you're saying. You make a few tweaks and change. Oh, she can't have a nose like that because we have a Western audience. They won't understand, and
Exactly.
and
Yeah. You're trying to tap in the market and then start changing the way your character is looking and all that. I think this is a dangerous road to take. For me, this is a really dangerous road to take. You need to be true.
you'll say
So real.
no. You'll say
Yes,
no.
and be
They
our character.
If they dangle a new studio in front of you, Amazon comes to you, Netflix says, "Hey, we heard that Disney has their own studio. We would like to develop your artist." What do you think about that? Develop your artist. So they don't say you have to follow us and do what we say to, but we want to develop the animation talent, as you were saying, to train the next generation. But Amazon or Netflix would like to sponsor it. What do you think of that? So your training place will have Amazon's logo there. They might even call it the Amazon Animation Studio. You can tell your own stories, but they want to have their logo there. What do you think about that?
Um, oh, in exchange, they just want to have the logo. That's it.
Well, not only that. I mean, they're gonna, they'll bring you in the computers that you need. Um, have the infrastructure that this would look like a complete studio, but train the next generation?
It's not bad to have like a partnership, right? The partnership is not bad. For me, the part I'm worried about is just the control of what you have to produce. It's that part only. So any partnership collaboration are really welcome, but the control of the content that we're sharing, the character that we're sharing is really important to us.
It's
So
ours. Okay. No, it's good. And if you don't,
you don't want to be like you start creating a character and then they say, oh, this the nose is too like, oh, change this, oh, the color is too dark, oh, no, and the hair, like change your hair, like don't do this, like no.
compromise.
Yeah, the compromise, like the compromise. Even with I saw a lot of like graphic designer. Even when you see a lot of advertising, the way they represent African or Black people,
Light skinned.
exactly, asking the hair, the two, everything is like
Yeah, hair.
no. It's really hard to for the kids. Like it's not something that I want my kids to see.
Oh, you're
I want
thinking
them
about the
to
future. I
see
love
the
it.
truth. Yeah, the truth. So like I don't want the big corporation they need to start hiding the truth. They have to show the truth. Show the truth, to show how we actually look like, how people are look like in the village, how people are look like in Africa, the trade, the hairstyle, the everything. We need to share that. We need to share that. It's missing. It's missing. So when I find things like that, I like to share with my kids, but it's hard. Those are hard to find. And I'm pretty sure if those big corporations actually start sharing that, it's going to be a lot easier for everyone. So
Yeah, and it's a future to see that vision. I mean, everybody's done it. People used to laugh at stocks of Google at one point, and used to laugh at Amazon. I don't. Who wants to buy online? That's so stupid. I'll buy it from here, and then years later, if you had a few shares of those, you don't have to work very much. So you were telling about the. I really think we should end with that part. They have to tell our stories, um, because I think it's just the direction of what your vision is, and this is. I think that's all that's important is your vision with the
yeah,
guy with the team, and what you want, the stories you want to tell. And these are African stories. You didn't start this company to be big and be bought by a big company. You want to
exactly.
get the average kid um, to know what an African story is instead of maybe the oral tradition. They can see it on the TV, and it's a big thing. What's
It
your
has to
what
be different. Really. So the reality, share the reality.
what's your biggest roadblock that's holding
Um,
holding the development back? You're getting jobs to help get the dream funded, but what are some roadblocks that are
for me, I
holding?
will say even like the workforce. The workforce, I think, is one of the big challenge. Like even like you have the story, even you have your equipment, you still have people who have to work for that. So it's a challenge to find people who actually work for you, actually complete project either on time or either with the quality that you're looking for, the standard that you're looking for. Because to go global, you need to compete also with like a global market is certain standard, right? So I will say the workforce, the train workforce.
How long do you think it would take to train the workforce the way that you would like it to push the next step, your phase two? So phase one, how long do you think in your vision from how things are going right now?
And even for now, it's not like it will not take long. As soon as you have like hard work people, it can go really fast. So even when we working with people, actually need to push them along the way, push them a lot, and do the review and actually, yeah, it's a lot of assistance that you need to do to be
Are,
at a certain level. So
are you a nice boss? Are you a pushy boss?
we all need to push ourselves.
Okay, all right.
We
Well,
need to compete, like we need to compete, like we need to push ourselves. We need to share beautiful work. Like, yeah, we need to have like a good product out there.
well, no, it's good. It sounds like you don't want to compromise with
Uh, no,
paste together. Like you want to have someone to say, "Wow, that's amazing." Um,
as
what's your next project that's coming up? What do you see as the biggest project that's coming your way? Do you guys have anything in the works? You said
so yeah, we have like there's two projects. I think one gonna take a little bit more time,
okay,
but we have like another project that will come soon. Like it's gonna be like a short movie very soon. So
okay.
I cannot tell the subject yet, but it's a subject that people are talking about a lot. So
Oh,
like I was saying, I like reality, so I like to share real stories. Uh, so I hope that we're gonna be able
sorry.
to
Um,
soon.
this one will be. Is this one of the ones that you're hoping, or it'll be a different one?
This is closer. This is gonna be soon. We're working on that a short movie, and we have another series that we're working on. But the short movie will be in the live sooner. Will be live sooner. No, not that one. Not this. This one will take a little bit more time
Right,
because we're still working on the storyline.
right.
Yeah,
Was it
on
the
the
one?
storyline.
Which this one here? You mean?
Yes, this one we're still working on the storyline for this
Okay.
one. It's not done yet.
I think it looks really, really nice. It's just like, yeah, there's more. I want to see more, and yeah, no, it'll be great. It'll be good.
Like, yeah, it's great. Like I was saying, like for me, story is the key, right? We cannot miss it. We
Oh,
cannot
this
miss that. So story is the key. So like we have a story and we be like improving the story every day. So
oh,
we
that's
want the
great.
story to be perfect, to be good, to be close to perfect.
That's fine. The best way people can find you is to go to your Facebook account and look for 25 frames.
Exactly for now. And we're gonna share the link of our website to Facebook. Yes.
Okay, and everything's gonna take time. And okay, that sounds great. And you guys have are involved in so many beautiful projects here. So I can see it's just you have such a vision of everything that I mean, it's not one simple project. I mean, there's a lot of projects here. Um,
Yeah. There's a lot, it's a lot, it's a lot. It's a lot of projects that but we don't just want just to release, just to be just you just want a product to be released like that. So
takes time.
it actually require a lot of work behind us. Yes.
Well, the discipline will, if you get a project, a final project out there, the discipline will show itself, where people can, see a project that they can't stop looking at. So, when do you think this launch will happen? Do you have a launch plan for this year or next year?
For the movie,
Right.
we can by the end of the year we can have it done. We can have it done. The clip that you showed earlier, we can have
Yeah.
it done. We can have like a couple episodes locked down by the end of this year. For the short movie, is gonna be very soon.
Okay.
So maybe by end of June or before that,
Okay.
because
That'll be good.
it's a short movie. So
Okay.
we actually want to showcase something new.
That'll be great.
Showcase something new to the audience. So it's gonna be soon, very soon. The store is already locked. So
It's a question again. Those guys working, and it looks good. It sounds like you have everything in place. If we want a good product, to get there. Well, you need the discipline to get there, and then by the time you get there, you have a kind of like almost like a training manual how to get the next group of animators
Exactly.
ready.
And that this short movie is actually the movie that we're gonna show to the world like what we can do,
Oh, this
right?
is amazing.
We're gonna show to the world what we can do. It's something that is gonna be our presentation.
Oh, that'll be good. Well, no, it looks good.
So it's gonna be our presentation is really short, so it's gonna be our presentation.
Yeah,
Presentation.
get
Like
investors, to get animators, and yeah, it'll be interesting, and it'll be good to see what happens next. And could be anything. You might, unfortunately, even brilliant projects sometimes. I couldn't imagine how many times Steve Jobs tried to launch. Oprah herself was part of a news crew, and people have to reinvent themselves and not give up. And so I think this is definitely one of those, so many levels, woman's story, African story, animation story. So it's good. So I thank you so much for joining me and taking the time. And we finally connected, and it's in English. So
so
yeah.
much. And we're gonna share with you the movie, the short movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. We would love to see it, and definitely help promote it. So thank you everybody for joining me, and thank you Lily today. So
Thank you.
and 25 frames. So people should find you on Facebook, 25 frames.
Yes, correct.
Okay, and everyone, you saw the picture there. So, and this is the background, one of the stills you can see from their site. If you go to 25 frames on Facebook, and they do have a WhatsApp that you can join as well. So there's lots of great things coming out of animation with Cameroon, and this is just a snippet of what's great to come. And don't be afraid to join them. And they have many more platforms in the future. And it'll be great to be right on the ground floor as you see them build and develop. So thank you very much, and hope to talk to you in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.